A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH286, Patricia and David, on what is a very pleasant evening up here in the North Island tonight. 19 degrees. It's been actually a bit sunnier than it is at the moment. Most of the day, it's 95% cloudy at the moment. 1018 and only 6 knots of northerly wind, but there is quite stormy conditions down the lower part of the South Island, hailstorms and the like. So a bit of interesting weather around what has been described as capricious weather in New Zealand. That was what Zumax have talked about. All right, we have a couple of things to cover before I get onto the boats. We have Belisa is in Sabu Sabu, so I won't call you in. You're probably in the bar by now, I would think. But we will start with Narada and Yuva very shortly. But I just thought you'd be interested to know that the weather is a bit strange all over the place. In the Panama Canal, they are suffering a drought. And believe it or not, this is their wet season, but they have got so little water around that they are actually restricting the number of vessels going through because there just isn't enough coming from the fresh water from the lands. They usually average about 36 sailings through a day. They're down to 25 at the moment, and the intention is to go to 18 a day from February next year. And of course, the critical Christmas period is on within that time, so there is about a 3-day delay at the moment for vessels going through, which will affect Christmas shopping, of course, in the major passage between Asia and China, mostly China and the United States. So if you're expecting Christmas parcels from there, you might have to wait until the new year. Not much happening around here. I think we'll get right into the boats on passage. But if sailing vessel Carry is listening, single-hander, sailing vessel Carry, I will give you a call later on because we would like to make contact with you. So just stay listening and I will give you a call after we finish with these boats that I have got on my list already. As I mentioned, Belisa is in Sabu Sabu. Hope Chris and Michelle are enjoying that. And let's go to Narada, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, Narada, I'll copy over.
Yeah, nice copy, Jan. Go ahead.
Okay, well, that my second position is 303 198 south, 178 degrees, 31 minutes east. I'm going to call of one of my records of southwestish. We're just say southwestish, shall we? At a speed of 5.5 knots in our low speed at the moment. I just cleared a big band of rain clouds and I've come out into the bright sunshine, which is lovely. The wind is about 10 knots from the east-northeast to east. Swell is exactly 3 meters back there, and it's been down 2.5 meters northeast to the swell. Cloud cover is a beautiful 20% with the rain, and the water is 1016 and steady. I'll copy.
Yeah, very nice copy from you tonight, Jan. 3019 south, 17831 east, steering in a southwesterly direction, 5.5 knots motoring. You're now out of the rain clouds and only 20% cloud cover, so that would be nice for the evening. 1016, 10 knots of east-northeast to east winds and 2.5 metre swell from the northeast, and that is down a bit. So really nice copy from you, and it sounds like all is well. What about the autopilot? Over.
Well, we've got a few other programs, I'm afraid. My lead is slightly compromised at the moment. Hoping I can be on port as much as possible, not getting glitches. Got my running battery and I'm using offshore as a storage backup. The fire support the sign on the start of the sign colours we were thinking about. I don't think it's not on anything surely, everything will be fine. As I say, I did, I have sort of going back today and I put up on the start of the sign when I was on that track. So that's a bit of a worry, but hopefully that will all be fine. We keep our fingers crossed on that one. Radar, of course, I don't have any radar, so there are any storms out today, I can't see them. And the autopilot is continuing to be totally erratic and switch off at early distances. So if I'm not nearby, I have a bit of a problem. So I try to stay close to an autopilot display so I can quickly get it back under control. But it does, fortunately, at the moment, over.
Well, goodness gracious, you'll have a list to get sorted out when you arrive in New Zealand, so we won't be thinking that you're going to be tripping around anytime soon. I'll just pass the microphone so that we can hopefully get a relatively mild forecast for the remainder few degrees southing. Here's David.
Well, tomorrow it will be light air. You're lucky. You're right in between fairly fresh northeast winds and fairly fresh southerly winds. But tomorrow it looks like southeast winds about 5 to 10. So that will put some ease on your rigging, I would guess. Over.
Okay, David. I heard something about southeast winds, but I've got a lot of questions here.
Yes.
Are you saying, I couldn't really hear what you're saying. Are you saying that on the southwest course that's a good idea or a bad idea?
Just light winds tomorrow. Light winds tomorrow, Jan. Over.
Sorry, say again, please.
Light winds tomorrow. Over.
Until tomorrow, was that over?
No, stand by, Jan. Stand by. I'm going to go to Uva, because you are fairly close. Jim, are you copying Jan okay? Over.
Yes, this is Uva. I'm copying Jan quite well, over.
Oh, good. Could you just tell her that it will be light winds tomorrow, so she will have no stress on the rigging? Over.
Yes, of course. Narada, this is Uva. Do you copy over?
Yes, I'm just very well, Uva. I know you're quite close to me, and I did hear what you said then. So light winds tomorrow, so no stress on the rigging, I think you said, over.
Yes, that's exactly right. So hopefully that works well for you, over.
Yes, thank you very much. And are you still heading south, or are you going straight into the storm now, over?
Narada, this is Uva. We're heading southwest, because we're heading out towards some very beautiful skies with a rainbow, very much as you were seeing, I think, over.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. That's good to get back to the base. Keep holding on to there. Okay, thanks so much, Uva.
Okay, thanks, Jim, and we'll go with you now to see what your report is like. Go ahead and hi to Perry.
So Harbour, this is Uva. My position is 30 degrees 51 south, 178 degrees 48 east. Our course is 214 degrees. We're moving at 7.5 knots. The wind is 15 knots from the northeast, pretty much the stern of us. The seas are 2 meters from east. The barometer is 1019. We are motoring currently with the wind behind us, and I've mentioned the rainbow already, so that's our news, over.
Well, a pretty evening sail for Uva, 3051 south, 17848 east, on a course of 214 true at 7.5 knots motoring with the wind behind, 15 knots from the northeast, VR8 wind behind, 2 east, 2 meters easterly swell, and 1019er. And have you got an ETA for us?
Yes, we're expected to be into Oboa on Monday afternoon, we believe. We're not sure what time, though.
Roger that, Monday afternoon sounds good. What does David have Monday afternoon periods?
Well, not looking that far right at the moment, but looking at tomorrow, the winds I think are going to change quite a bit for you. It looks like southeast winds, about maybe 12, 13 knots, maybe gusting up to 16, 18 knots. Not all the models are totally in agreement with that precisely, but pretty close. The Australian model is actually pulling off 20 knots, and that's at a gust, so 15 to 20 out of the south from the Australian coast. But your ETA of Tuesday, I think you said? Is that correct? Tuesday?
Monday.
Monday.
Monday
Okay.
PM.
Okay, so if I'm just looking at lunch on Monday, and from what I can see, it looks like southerlies about 10 knots. And hold on, I'm checking the number of models. And might be a little bit less than that, but we're looking at southerly. But hang on 1 minute. I want to look at what New Zealand's got to say on Monday. Hold on. Alrighty, looking at New Zealand, they're modeling for the east coast of the North Island from North Cape down to Whangarei. Looks like southwest winds, at about 15 knots, 15 knots, and that time is around 10 a.m. Over.
David, thank you very much. This is Yuma. Tomorrow sounds good for us. We like the sound of the south, especially southeast tomorrow, and even if 20 knots would be great. But I guess we'll be kind of getting into the end, so we were kind of figuring we would anyway, huh?
Yep, and you won't mind, I am sure, that last bit of arrival. So we'll anyway update things tomorrow. And yes, it'd be nice not to have the wind DDW, won't it? It's a pain in the neck. All right, well, have a very pleasant night. It's certainly not too bad out there at the moment. So we'll clear with Yuva, and I'm going to go next to the boats on their way from New Caledonia to Australia, and I will start with the ones closest to Australia so that the ones behind can see what's happening. So, I forgot about Rusula though. I don't think he'll be on. Rusula, Gulf Harbour. No, they'll be in Okoa. So let's go to Sonrisa, Gulf Harbour. Well, I've got a reasonable but light copy on you tonight. Saxon, go ahead.
We are doing about 4.5 knots on a course of around 250 degrees cruise. Knots of wind on the beam, and we are very nice and calm, almost flat. Cloud cover is 0%, and pressure 1 minute. 1018 on the bar.
Okay, sounds fairly quiet. I'd hope that you guys would have a bit more. I think the boats behind you might have a bit more. Sonrisa, 2610 south, 15838 east, 4.5 knots on a course of 250 true, 6 to 7 knots from the southeast, calm, flat seas, 0% cloud cover. Oh, I think everyone would like to go to Australia. 1018. I presume all is well on board. Over.
Yeah, all is well on board. We keep hearing that we're actually settling. We keep hearing that we're actually moving because it is quiet. We are very grateful for the conditions. Is there, I just wondering a question for David, is there speaking to Australia and coming off the coast or anything like that to worry about?
Yeah, we had a look at what's happening on the coast earlier on in the day, looking at when Granny Mayol would be getting in. But as far as I know from him, I'll just pass the microphone.
Is Brisbane used to it?
No, this is no, carry on.
Yeah, we seem to lost the note on what your destination was. Could you come back with that briefly? Over.
Southport, that's right, yeah.
Okay, well, looking at the rain features and so forth, there is quite a bit of rain. I guess we just call it the Gold Coast. It's running all the way from Lunenburg all the way down to Sydney.
When?
And this is tomorrow at lunchtime. Inland, quite a bit of thunderstorm activity. I believe they have a lot of brush fires down there as well, so I believe that rain would be welcome. But anyway, that's tomorrow. What is your ETA? Over.
ETA is either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on weather here.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Alrighty. I'm looking at Wednesday early morning, and I'm not picking up any rain up and down the coast. I take that back. There's some light showers, I would say, that run from just north of Brisbane down to just south of Coast. And that's about it. In terms of the wind on Wednesday morning, and I would say that looks like northeast winds, uh, probably in the 10 to 15 knot range. Let's see what the Australians have to say, seeing as how that's their part of the world. And they are looking at 13 to 14 knots out of the north and gusting up to 18 or 19 knots. So just basically northerly quadrant winds on Wednesday morning. Looking at in case you come in on Tuesday, looking at Tuesday around supper time, the winds all up and down the coast look like they're almost easterly, a little bit of north in it, but about 10 to 15 knots, and a little bit more precipitation up and down the coast on Tuesday around dinner. So a little bit of variation on the theme there, but it doesn't look like a bad arrival. Just a little bit of iffy on precipitation. Over.
Okay, great. Thank you for that information, David. Now, it's an interesting basic front running at the coast or anything like that, but it sounds like we're all clear.
Yep, certainly does look good for you guys, and certainly Granny Mayol behind you. It's been, apart from, I know you've had to use a bit of fuel, but it's been very, very pleasant, so that's good. All right, we'll clear with you guys, see where you are tomorrow, and go to Granny Mayol, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour is Roger Wales, have copy.
Oh, very nice copy tonight. Go ahead, over.
Okay, all is well aboard. Our position is 24137 16052 east. Speed over burn 5 knots. Course over burn 2553 true. Wind 12 knots southeast. 1 meter southeast. 25%. Barometer 1018. Over.
Roger that, and I think I'm going to pass the microphone when I'm finished because we were looking at your tomorrow winds before, and what I looked at was pretty much just possibly lightning, and David had it going backing a bit, so I'm going to pass it to him as he's the expert. 2413 south, 16052 east, 5 knots on a course of 255 true, heading to Brisbane. 12 knots from the southeast, 1 metre southeast swell, 25% cloud cover, and 1018. Just stand by.
All right, good evening. And it looks like tomorrow at about lunchtime, I'd say 15 to 20 knots out of the east is what it looks like to me. Let's see. Those are the basic models, so see what kind of changes we get as we flip around. Still Yeah, still holding at 15 to 20. And let's look and see what the Australians have to say. And they're looking at easterlies about 14, 15 knots, and gusts up to 20, 22 knots. And in terms of any precipitation, none. None that I could see. And within about 5 degrees of you all around. It looks like it's pretty sunny skies. You said you had, I think, 25% cloud. I could look at the satellite imagery, which I will. I give this back to Patricia, and we'll see what I see on the satellite.
Okay, while he's doing that, just confirming that Belize is tied to the dock at Naui Island Marina, the new one in Sabu Sabu. So all is good there. Cocktail hour aboard. And good evening also to Anahata in Muscat Cove, and looking at leaving Monday for dinner hour, from dinner hour to Marsden. So good evening to you. So that's good. David, I'll just pass the microphone back to look at what David's looking at here.
Yeah, scattered cumulus around you, not much from what I can see on this satellite image. But boy, oh boy, we're looking inland in Australia. We're getting pop-ups from these big cumulonimbus clouds, and they are going to be bringing a huge amount of rain all the way from on that upper, I don't think you've ever been to Charleville, is it? Charleville? Down to Burke. That is very active. And there's cloud all along the coast. And then if you're down as far as Coffs, this cloud band goes east about 4 or 5 degrees. So quite a bit of cloud below 30 degrees, 30 degrees south. But boy, it sure is pounding inland, which I think is probably needed. So anyway, you're looking good at the moment, and it doesn't look like there'll be any problem tomorrow either. Over.
Great, thanks very much for that, I really appreciate it. Ronnie, well, stand by.
Okay, so we'll go a little bit behind Granny Mayal now and talk to Kimbo. But I'll just give you Freedom Song's emailed in report just now. Freedom Song, Gary and Wayne are at 2257 South, 15705 East, on a course of 262 true at 4.3. Very pleasant, 20% cloud cover with 12 knots of east to southeast and a 1 metre southeast swell. So let's hear from Akimbo, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour here in Akimbo. Good morning, Trish and David. Good afternoon, Trish and David. Akimbo's current position is 23 degrees, 01 minutes south, 162 degrees, 30 minutes east. We're steering 248 degrees magnetic. We have a boat speed of an average of about 5.5 knots. Lovely conditions down here. We have an east-southeasterly wind, 15 to 18. We have 1 metre sea on 1 metre east southeast swell, 40% cloud cover, and the bar is pushed up 1 to 1017. And interesting enough, yesterday we had just over half of current with us. All day today we've been pushing just about 1 knot of current. So we're nothing on the speed into the heavy. Hopefully it will become favourable or neutral in the future. Lovely though, and thanks for pushing it. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to make use of currents, but boy, sailboats just can't chase them around because they're too slow. Kimbo, 2301 south and 16230 east on a course of 248 magnetic. 5.5 knots, east-southeast, 15 to 18, 1 metre east-southeast, 40% cloud cover, barometers just gone up, 1017, and you now have a negative knot against you. But I'm sure that you don't mind with conditions like that. It sounds lovely sailing over.
This is, well, it could be dead flat, but this is lovely conditions and we're enjoying it. Might continue next trip.
Yeah, David has just said it will be 15 to 20 tomorrow southeast, so that will move you along a bit. And hopefully Vanessa's arm is still okay, not being worked too hard over.
I just have to
Yep, sounds like a good woman. All right, we'll clear with you and go to Sahula. I just have asked you to stay on frequency just in case I need some help, but Lynn has been coming through pretty well lately. Sahula, Gulf Harbour.
Sahula.
Oh, I bet you're going to grizzle about that engine noise. Over.
This is Sahula reporting in. Over.
Yes, good evening, Lynn. I just said you will be grizzling about the engine noise. Go ahead with your report. Good copy. Over.
We are at 3142 South, 171.053, course of 129. We are making speed of 6 knots, motoring. We have a southwest breeze of 6 knots, and seas are about a 2.5 meter swell from the west-southwest. Barometer 10, 28, and steady. And we've been keeping a bit to the west because we know we're going to get southwesterlies if we ever get any wind. It's a little bit tired of this light wind. Over.
Yeah, could you just confirm whether you are using tonight magnetic or true course? Over.
The course is 129.2. Over.
Okay, thank you for that. We have Sahula motoring along 3142 south, getting ever closer, 17105 east on a course of 129 true at 6 knots motoring, southwest 6, 2.5 metre west southwest, 1028 steady, and that's quite a bit higher than I've got here. So there must be some wind. I'm going to pass the microphone and see if David can find you some wind.
Well, I found you wind, Lynn, but it's not anything you're going to like. It looks like southerlies tomorrow. Boy, no, you're not going to like that. About 10 to 15 knots out of the south. And the reason for that is this new high is coming into the Tasman. Center of it is right about Tasmania at the moment, but it's just pushing out. Axis is running about from Tasmania. It's running northeast. You just draw a line. That's the axis of the ridge. However, you're on the southern part of that axis, and that means the winds are looking like southerly. And that's tomorrow at lunchtime. So sorry about that. Over.
Do we have any break on Monday? Over.
Okay, I'll have a look on Monday. I know you guys are getting short of fuel, so let's have a look at Monday.
No, sorry about that. Pretty much the same on Monday. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Excuse me, losing my voice too. Hang on. No, it's still looking like 10, 12 knots out of the south. I'm looking at about 4 models here, and moving you closer to North Cape. Uh, I'm looking at maybe about 32, 20 south. So that's getting you pretty close. But still southerly winds there on Monday, and I'm looking at about mid-morning on Monday. But let me look a little bit later to see if it does change. It's not much of a change. Still southerly, and what is the ETA, Lynn, if you just keep rolling along with your motor? Over.
Well, unfortunately, we cannot give a ETA because we're going to have to stop using our fuel tomorrow at noon. So we'll just be a sailboat, and we'll get there when we get there. So, thanks. We'll keep in touch. Over.
Yeah, roger that. And you're at 171. So that is pretty good in the sense that the winds, at least on Tuesday, are going to be, looks like south-southwest. Get close to North Cape, and they are southwest. So that angle that you're coming toward North Cape is a pretty good one in that regard. So you will get wind as you get closer. So all you need is enough fuel just to get you a little bit closer to the North Cape, and then you'll see a wind change. Over.
I'm sorry, I'm not getting a good copy right now. But don't worry, we're going to roll together in. With the right wind is on top of David as well, and his locomotive is feeling quite nicely. No major, all good on board. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lynn, and good evening to you too, David. Sounds like you're, well, you might be ready for paddling, but you will get wind in a decent direction after you get to North Cape. So that sounds positive. All right, let's go to Rob and Charlene on Cambria, Gulf Harbour. It's pretty light copy, but it's still clear enough. So go ahead, Rob. Over.
Okay, we are at 2147 south, 176 for west, around 5 knots, course course 220 south, wind is 1820 from the east north, waves roughly getting close to 3 meters from the east. Bottom cover 95%, barometer 1016 and 10.
Yes, I got everything except the longitude. I have 176. Could you give me the minutes of longitude? Okay, we have Cambria at 2147 south, 17634 east, course 220 true, 5 knots with 18 to 20. Hope Lynn's not listening. 18 to 20. Oh, David just said I should be calling you west. Sorry, west longitude. 18 to 20 east northeast, 3 meters swell from the east, 95% cloud cover, and 1016. How did I get that all correct, Rob? Over.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, and all right. Let's just see if David's got anything coming up. He's just having a look. All right.
All right, there's quite a bit of troughing around that area, and I was just looking. I've got you on my computer now, and I'm looking at the cloud situation in the rain. I think you're going to be sailing into a little bit more cloud as you are continuing. I assume you're going to Minerva. That may be a wrong assumption, but anyhow, if you're heading in that direction with Minerva, I would say certainly by tomorrow morning or tomorrow by around lunch, you should be in that very light trough. Winds are going to be northeast in that, but it does look like rain. Over.
Sympathetic, but I heard winds northeast and rain by 4 morning.
Yeah, I'll clear with you and we'll talk to the boats in Minerva and see what it's like at the moment. Then I'm going to try and find Jack Iron and Carrie. But let's go to Susimi. Susimi, are you on frequency? Over. Yeah, good evening, Hazel. I just thought we would get a report of what it's like in Minerva. So there's another boat coming. What sort of a day have you had? Over.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those days where you feel like step outside the boat. It's been blowing 20, 25 knots all day with rain on and off, mostly on. It's mostly incast, and yeah, it's not very nice at all.
Yeah, we looked at that and thought, not very pleasant in Minerva. Oh well, I'm sure by the time Rob and Charlie get there, you'll, well, let's see what David has to say about the Minerva weather.
I'm just looking at tomorrow morning, around 10 a.m. Those big clouds should be moving to the east. It still will be cloudy. You still will have some precipitation, maybe 1-2 millimeters over a 3-hour period. So enough just to be annoying, but not as bad as what you had today, in my opinion. Over.
Okay, thank you. Everything for the night weather to get out and use the building. It's actually the anchorage is calm, so comfortable. So looking forward to Cambria arriving.
Okay, well, yes, at least it's a bit better. That doesn't sound very pleasant at all. Mind you, it can get like that. But yes, if it's nice and sheltered, you don't worry too much. And I presume Taku has the same because they're not far away. Okay, well, thanks for coming on and letting us know. That's really good. Thanks, Hazel. And good signal from you. Okay, a new boat starting today, Jack Iron. Jack Iron, are you on frequency? Nothing heard there. And what about Carrie, a single-hander? Are you on frequency? Over. Nothing heard. All right. Is there anybody else wanting to join us? Please call.
Mackay, over.
Oh, hi, Barry. How are you getting on? Over.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Good to hear from you this evening. Just wanted to check in tonight and let you know that we'll be departing Denarau on Monday, and with looking to head to Opua. I'll be leaving with Alula and Soy Libre, over.
Okay, and I think Anahat is leaving there too. So Alua and I didn't copy the other one down. I was too busy writing your stuff down. Okay, Monday from Denarau. All right, so you've all been studying your weather, and we'll talk to you on Monday. So with a bit of luck, the weather in New Zealand will be warming up and settling down, and you'll have a good passage. So we'll talk to you on Monday. Over.
Okay, Roger, Patricia, yeah, look forward to seeing you on Monday, and that other boat is Soy Libre. I think they checked in with you before. And I'll be single-handing as usual, so I will say good. I'll tell you on the hand that as well in the morning on the propagation and a little bit for me at time. But we'll look for you on Monday, and have a good evening. This is Daily Vessel Mackay out.
Okay, yeah, it's a bit strange, but it starts on the Hamnet, not all that great, and then it by about 15:15 it warms up rather well. So somebody will find you. That will be good. Okay, is there anybody else? Oh, Cerulean. What are you guys up to? And are you departing too? Over?
We left today. Our position is 1838 south, 17712 east. Our speed is 6.5, course is 165 true. We've got 12 to 15 knots, southeast wind, east is 1, well, so the coverage 40%.
Okay, I need your longitude. It took a bit of a dive with the longitude. Over.
Longitude is 17712. That's 17712. Over.
Okay, I have Cerulean at 1838 south, 17712 east, 6.5 knots, sailing nicely on course. Just check my course, 165 true, 12 to 15 southeast, 1 metre swell from the east, 40% cloud cover, and all is well. Yes, ETA, and just check the course for me.
Yes, I decided the course is 16533. ETA, we're expecting to get in next Sunday, the 12th.
Okay, sounds good. And I'll just have to check my log here. You're 2 people on board, is that correct?
That's correct. It's Helen and Steve on board.
Okay, got that. Thank you very much. Confirmed 2 on board, Helen and Steve, and we will call you again tomorrow.
Looks like a good arrival at this point.
Yeah, good arrival at this point, says the boss here. All right, is there anybody else? We'll clear with Cerulean. Anybody else? Oh, there is somebody there, and it's very, very light. Could anybody pick up that boat? If you could come again with your call sign, Barry might be able to copy, but come again, please. Over.
I got him.
Okay, could you pick them up? I didn't get anything that time. Over.
Roger, sailing vessel Renard. Sailing vessel Renard. Come with your report. Over.
Wow, it's very loud.
Okay, sailing vessel Renard. This is sailing vessel Mackay. Completely took a fade on me. So I guess I spoke too soon. I thought I had a good copy on you there in the beginning, but you completely faded out. Why don't you come back with your position again? Over. Okay, I got 176 degrees, 16, and I did not get the other one. Go ahead. Let's try that again. Give me that again. Over. Okay, sailing vessel Renard, I'm sorry that I'm unable to copy. You just dropped out into the noise on me. I'll be picking up bits and pieces. Is there any other station on it to copy Bernard come now? Yeah, go ahead.
Good copy, and I think I heard, as far as you got it, Bernard is at 22250 south, 17616 west. E over ground 5.5, force over ground 260, wind northeast 1520. Over.
Okay, thanks very much, Sangria. And could you find out where he is going and what is his ETA?
Don't know that where you were going, when the ETA is. But they are on the way to Minerva and wondering if they may just keep going straight to New Zealand and wondering if David has any weather advice for that.
Okay, yes, we were wondering whether he was stopping at Minerva or carrying on. So, thank you. Great relay. 2225 south, 17616 west, 5.5 knots at 260 true with the northeast 15220. And I presume they've got a similar sort of cloud and rain that has been reported in the area. Wanting to work out whether he stops at Minerva or carries on. I'll just see what David has to offer.
All right, I'm not sure if that yacht Renard is copying us at all, but it looks like if he wants to carry on to New Zealand, that looks like it would be a viable decision. If he wants to stop off at Minerva to fix his radio, that's a viable decision. So there you go. Actually, this whole passage with all of you boats that are heading this way looks pretty darn good at this point in time. I stress this point in time because things change and they can change rapidly. But for now, it looks like pretty good for a while. So there you go, Bernard. Your choice, Minerva, or keep going. Over.
Bernard, are you able to copy data from Harbour device? That is correct. Either one is viable.
Okay, and a nice puppy from Cumbria. And yes, it's not going to be as snotty a day tomorrow in Minerva as it has been today, so shouldn't be too bad for an entry. Okay, thank you for the help, people. I do appreciate that because sometimes conditions just are not great, and very appreciative of the help. Okay, I think we've come to the end. I did not hear Carrie call in at all, and is there anybody else want to make a comment before we depart? Or I'm just going to check the streaming. Nothing much more on streaming. Okay, is there anybody else? Sorry, I didn't get the volume on this microphone up. Sorry, the speaker up in time. There was somebody there. Oh, hello, Peter again. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm interesting. So I think this very thing that this listening on the interesting because I think John did a one accurate mentioned the other morning that there was 60 boats heading towards New Zealand. Thanks a lot. But I was interested if you knew whether that was right, and I was just also interested in how many boat movements you're expecting for the transit to New Zealand, well, and Australia Let's say,
Yeah, I haven't actually counted them up myself, but there's certainly this season is a lot more than there has been because of the bottlenecks that there have been caused by the COVID shutdowns in many of the islands en route from Europe and the US. So there's certainly an awful lot more boats coming in to New Zealand, and the ones coming to Australia, absolutely there is more boats. So I heard some huge numbers, and I don't know whether they are accurate or not, but just looking at the what I call the little purple spots on the AIS, there's, for example, a lot going from Fiji to Newcastle and then on to Australia at the moment. I don't count up 60, just sort of at the top of my head. I don't think there's 60 coming down to New Zealand at the moment, but there has been a steady stream. And certainly customs were expecting a lot more than normal. So we'll wait and see what they come up with at the end of December, because many people do, especially with New Zealand and the way the weather has been, they do tend to lag behind the ones that are really, really keen to get here and do some boat repairs. I know Jan will be one of those. So yeah, currently the answer specifically, Peter, over.
yeah, thanks for that, Trish. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I think actually putting together the legs of the lockout. So, thanks for that. And you guys have a nice evening, and thanks for being there. Over.
Yeah, no problem. And David is just wanting the microphone. I'm not sure what. Here he is.
Well, I don't know if Bernard is still listening. I hope he is. But I've looked a little bit closer at approximately when he'll get to Minerva, and I would say that probably he should stop. I think if it were us, we don't give advice, but if it were us in our boat, Chameleon, I think we'd stop. And the reason for that is that new high that is coming in, that of course is clashing with the outgoing high, and that's what is creating the trough conditions, which probably will still be around in one shape or another by Monday, maybe into a Tuesday. Not very strong, but it's a very simple case of convergence of winds. So if you're still listening, Bernard, I'm going to retract what I said. Sorry about that. But I think if it were us, we would stop. So, Bernard, do you copy? Over.
Well, never mind. Cambria might be able to pick him up after the net. I don't think he's copying us too well. All right. Just another call for Jack Iron, Gulf Harbour. Nothing heard, so we'll leave you all in peace and have a good night, everybody. We'll be back again tomorrow, of course. This is Gulf Harbour Radio. We're clear, and if you want the frequency, it's all yours. Cheers, everybody.